We also didn't get any podcast ad libs.
Brat.
Cool.
It's a hippity hop, and we're on Corey's show, and we won't stop to the bang bang boogity, rip and rapidy.
Boogie to the boogie beat. That was it, man.
Yeah.
You're listening to the Gab Street Podcast, Columbus, Ohio's #1 podcast for underground talent. Every week we have new conversations with interesting individuals who contribute to the Columbus economy and its lively culture. You may find just what you're looking for right in your backyard. Let's get right into it. Snippets of...
Are you guys involved in video editing?
I'm just getting started.
Yeah,
What are you using?
Well, right now nothing, but I'm about to get that Sony a6000.
Well, what are you using to edit video?
Oh, I just got Adobe Premiere. I got the Creative Cloud everything. So
You like it?
I haven't tried it yet. I was using Vegas to edit my videos. I was using Vegas with some Red Giant software.
What?
Red Giant.
Yeah, what Red Giant?
Oh, just like some transitions. Like I like the VHS transition a lot.
Yeah, and the universe packs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all Red Giant too, Magic Bullet and all that stuff. Do you know Ice?
Hell yeah. I haven't jumped too big into that world, but I like.
DaVinci Resolve, man. You got to check it out. It's free.
I have
It's
heard
free
so
for
much
life.
about
And
DaVinci Resolve.
If you buy it, there's a one-time fee of $300,
Mm-hmm.
and you own it for life.
That's
so all
nice.
the updates and everything, and it's the best color grading software. Premiere for me, it was counterintuitive. I'm a Mac guy. If I would have went on like Final Cut or something, it would have been way more intuitive. My workflow would have been way faster.
Mm-hmm.
So all the Premiere just looks like a PC program, which I've never used a PC. So for me, it was like, what the hell's going on?
Never used a PC.
No, I mean,
crazy.
I've always been on Apple.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's like the
always.
opposite of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are the advantages versus PC?
Uh,
I mean, you haven't used PC, but I should be able to answer that question.
I mean, for me, back in the day, it was always just, they're better for all the arts. But I mean, now you can build your own computers or whatever.
That's
you
true.
know, and Macs, I don't know. I'm waiting for that offshoot company to kind of smash Mac down and just level the playing field.
Yeah.
Like, I'll still rock with Mac, but they don't need, those prices are outrageous. Come on.
I got this little thing for $250.
Yeah.
It's doing so much.
I'm
for
sure
me.
it's a beast. Yeah.
It's just a little Linux machine. It's a little Chromebook, man.
And can you run OS X on it then, since it's Linux?
Probably.
Yeah. So you can just hack it and have a Hackintosh. So and that's probably the next wave I'll do. I'll build my own and just make, run an OS. But,
Hell yeah.
but I like it. DaVinci Resolve, it's free. Check it out. And the color grading software is definitely what you want to use.
Mm-hmm.
So post footage and then throw it and then just dump the XML into Premiere.
Yeah. I'll check that out. I got it saved in my phone.
So, pedestrians, as you can see, I have surrounded myself with people that know 10 times as much as I do. And that's how you become smart.
I don't know about that, man. I'm so fucking tired. I can barely.
I like that you're double stacked here with the
Yeah,
NOS
oh yeah,
and the coffee.
Yeah.
He's dumping this shit down his throat. He's going to be off the walls by the end of the episode. It's going to be awesome.
I was on this run where I was getting up at like 7 a.m., not going to bed till midnight, 1 in the morning for like a month straight. So I was just living off of these, and I'm still on it.
This is the podcast lifestyle. This is the way you do it. You know this very well.
I do.
Yeah.
We are here today with Chuck Johnson.
Yes.
He also goes by Product. Let me see if I can list every single title I can give you under this list. So you are an educator.
Yes.
You are a musician.
Correct.
You are a podcast host.
Yeah.
You are a photographer.
Yes.
You do a lot of mixed media art.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did I miss anything? You
Chef.
teach people how to cook. Yes.
Yeah.
Caravan.
I have a kids cooking company. I'm part of a kids cooking company that I helped found. Yeah.
So you're a man
soon
of
to be
hands.
author. So.
Yeah. What? Tell me about that.
My friend Sam Fowle and I, you guys should get hip to his work. You should have him on too. He's an amazing artist.
Okay.
He's worked with Saturday Night Live to The Simpsons. He was hired by George Lucas to do the 30th anniversary Empire Strikes Back poster. He's just a dude like us. He's in Hilliard, a teacher. And, when he puts the kids to bed, it's just like go time. And he just, is nasty with the pen. So he and I have concocted our first book. So it's the potty training book for kids. Because I'm a music educator. I start my days with like a crying room full of babies, and they bring me in, and I'm the guy with the guitar and the drums. So that's how I start my day, and I end it with big kids with guitars and drums. So there's a lot of duplicity there.
You listed all that stuff about him, and then you went potty training book, and I wasn't expecting that to be the...
Yeah. So that's our first one. We also have other stuff we're doing. He and I are... and another friend, Kachada Young, we're doing a series of like comic book singles, sort of. So each single, each like 7-inch, will have a story of the comic book involved. So we're working on that next. So we're not all just children's books, but it's the first one we had in the bag. So
much respect.
Sure.
Sounds like a good gift for Zay Crypto here. Buy it for him on his birthday. That would be cool.
You a comic book guy?
Not really.
Okay.
You can be, and you will be. I will make you be a comic book.
Yeah.
So every guy get to work decay. Try to bring it back, but it's coming really fast. Hell bent from a place in the past. Just ignore it, it will pass. Close those eyelids made of glass. Close a tight fist of a night wrist and a fight pit wound.
Those Asterix books. None of you book guys probably don't know. It's like
Asterix, the French comic. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I guess you're more cultured than me. I just call it Asterix. Asterix.
I took French for 9 years, and I retained just a comic book name. So
there it is.
Those were the only comic books I read when I was a kid.
I think a cool graphic novel series would be the process of making a Math of Trees song.
Wow.
Because I want to ask you about that shit, because I was listening to your interview with the other guy that you do it with on, what's his name?
John Hubble.
Okay. You did that on Sounds of Bustown.
Yeah.
And you guys were talking about how Math of Trees, go check it out, by the way, it's fucking dope, is what could have been a 9-year but a 10-year process. So
it's John lives in New York City.
Yeah.
So, we it's kind of one of those projects to where we don't work that well remotely, but we work so well together, and we're it's a unified group. It's just he and I might come up with a sketch for a song, and John will do the same. And then we usually get together a few times a year and demo each other's material and just build from there. But then from there, we it can take a really long time. We're meticulous, and
I can tell.
Yeah. So I mean, everything means something. Every note, every mix, every blend. We painstakingly go over all those things. So it means a lot to us. So we really put our time in it, and we didn't care how long it took. Honestly, we could have been out, years ago. We didn't. It's like, nah. It's not perfect, and we weren't.
It's finished.
Yeah, that's how it always was with he and I. So, and we just kind of saw that through, and it took a while, but it didn't seem like that, because it's not like we were 9 years we're sitting around like banging our heads against the wall, like, come on, let's fix this drum break here. It was just like a couple times a year, and he's in a band called the Hunter Tones.
I've heard of them. Okay.
Yeah, he's the drummer of that band. So they tour the world. I mean, literally the world.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, cool. So all those guys that's kind of our camp. So that's kind of our pool of musicians that are all our peers.
Nice. And
like I said, we're really spoiled because we can sketch these ideas. I can peck something out, and do a little horn run or a bass line and just call up my friends and be like, what do you think of this? Like, I see what you're going for here. So then John and I'll bring a session musician in, and we'll record them, and then John and I take a lot of time really editing those takes and rearranging them and just remixing everything they played.
Man, that's the dream. That's brilliant.
That was always mine, man. So that's why I'm so happy it's out, because when I got into production, it was all about that. Like, one day, if I could ever work with a real violin player.
That's how I feel.
Like, I'm going to sample these strings off this classical record. Now I have strings, yes. So to be able to bring these musicians in and, like, see it through, it's super exciting. So
I just want to be able to lay it out in the DAW and then take all the MIDI input away and then just like... make that for me.
That's Matt the Trees.
Yeah.
And you know, the electronic sounds, you can see there's some bit of a skeleton there, and there we do keep some electronic moments in there, but for the most part, you know, it'd be like I'll lay it out and just tell John, you know, like he'll hear it like, so what is this exactly? I'm like, oh well, you're playing the break, we got Dan on the sax, we're bringing Adam in on this, and then we're gonna get Liz to do the strings. So really nothing you're hearing is there, but it's there. It's just the demo.
Nice.
It's like showing your buddy a guitar riff. Like, you hear it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Yeah.
kind of like that. So it's been a fun project, and we're really proud of it. So if you haven't checked it out, definitely do that. We have tapes and vinyl. I should have brought you vinyl. I thought you were at the show. I just didn't.
Sorry.
I thought you were coming to the show,
I
man.
thought I was coming to the show.
That's all good.
Sorry.
It's all good.
If you have not gone and checked it out, go check it out after this episode, because you're going to hear it between what we're talking about today. So it'll be showcased within. It's all one package. It's
All right.
really cool.
I like it.
Just so much of that. When it's 10 years, that's half of my lifetime.
Sure.
I'm 19 years old. That's over half of my lifetime. So that is like that's compare that album to me when I was 10 years old. Like, that's the formative period of I was growing up to that point. That's what this album is. Like, what does that just become such a how much of your time was dedicated to it over that 10 years?
Like I said, John would come into town and it might be 3 times a year, sometimes once,
Yeah.
you know, so, but he might stay for 3 weeks and we would work on it. And I mean, we go in, like, we don't have small sessions. It's all nighters, you know, I'm taking,
You have to. Yeah.
time off work. It was a big project, especially for 2 people. We weren't just going to a studio and recording songs. We were doing it all ourselves. And the learning curve came with just, I mean, you know how it is. You hear these beats in your head.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get them out? You know, we don't have the chip that we can just USB yet.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so
Take it out of your head. put it in
Exactly.
there.
So, I mean, it's like all these things, and like you're experiencing now, how do you get those to sound like they do up here?
Yeah, half of it is just technical bullshit.
Sure. You know, mic placement, you know, engineering. So we had to do all those things. And 10 years ago, the technology wasn't even where it was.
Yeah.
You know?
Things have changed so much.
Yeah. And then our knowledge base.
Yeah.
You know, he's been touring the world. I've been in my studio doing all my things. So we've both been pushing each other to develop our skills. So it's like 10 years to start this thing full on. We just always had a vision as to what we wanted it to be. And we had faith in each other, and I mean, we knew had a stacked deck with all the players we were messing with. So,
Did you ever scrap songs that you started and then like 5 years later you're like, nah, we can do better?
yeah. But it's funny because now that we're going back on those things, after you put them away for a while, you can kind of uncover some things that you might have missed.
Yeah.
Or you like mute a drum track, you know, when you're dealing with like 60 tracks or 100 tracks. And then you're like, what about if we just take all the drums out? Let's just listen to the all percussion.
Yeah.
And like, wow, what the hell were we doing there? You know, it's all these like happy mistakes, you know, and like when we bring musicians in, we play them the beat and we just put it on loop pretty much and just kind of describe our feelings, trying to put them in that, you know, that mindset of the vibe of the song, and just let them go. You know, it's not like, okay, it's just 4 bars, play these notes. Mm-hmm. Okay, we got that. Move on to the chorus. All right, you got 8 bars. Go ahead. Yeah. It's just recording and miles and miles and miles of tape, and then just going in there and like really building it. So
Wow.
So, I mean, for note, sometimes, just like dissecting every track from every person.
Yeah.
Including ourselves. So, I mean, there's nothing left unturned when we've recorded this. Some of those songs that we started out early on, we might make a new song, and that other song that we felt was a little weak might just be a section in that new song. So we would or like, hey, I think this is in the same key, around the same tempo. Mm-hmm. Could we use those strings from that song and bring it over here? And, you know, and as we grew and we got better at mixing, the songs did as well. So it was like, yeah, we had this mix 5 years ago, but God, we didn't know what we were doing. We didn't know about compression.
Oh my God.
We didn't know how to make these drums really bang.
That's crazy because my friend and I have not even been doing this for 5 years. We say that all the time.
Exactly.
So it's never going to end, is it?
Yeah,
We're always going to be looking back.
Yeah, you can always mix it. And like John said that on our last podcast. It's like we could still be mixing this record, but we were to the point where, it's like it's time. And now we have, new material, which is, way different than this.
So you kind of take the sculpture approach, like a Michelangelo with a large
Sure.
obelisk,
Yeah.
and then you just kind of whack at it until
Man,
the David falls out. You know what I mean?
yeah, kind of. I mean, there are a lot of ideas that we have going in, but sometimes those happy accidents will really lead the way. We'll accidentally pitch shift something or halftime. I think just for example, one of the examples on the record was we accidentally hit the hotkey to halftime a sample, these strings that we recorded, just by accident, and we're just like both like, what the hell was that? Do that, that right there, and then it was an accident. Then that was like a whole new tool that we put in our bag. So it's like, oh, okay. So those things just. You got to just keep pushing it and watch the YouTube tutorials and learn about compressors and EQing.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you have classical music education? No.
John does.
John does.
I'm more of a hip hop beat maker.
Okay. Cool.
So I mean, I like all that. All the music's. I can't really say I dislike. Well, I mean, new country probably, but
I feel like everybody says that. They're like, I listen to anything,
but
except for country.
No, I'm down with country, but some of that new stuff, especially the hip hop stuff, is just like that's just different.
Oh well, yeah, that's pretty awful.
Oof. I mean, it's not my thing. I mean, I know kids are kids and they're gonna like stuff that they like.
We were talking to J-Rolls about how much things have changed since he started, and like they couldn't have possibly imagined any of this stuff back then.
No.
It's not even hip hop anymore. It's like its own thing.
A Grammy award-winning homosexual African American, like that's that's a huge deal. Like that happened. And didn't Trent Reznor get a Grammy out of that too? Because Lil Nas X got one? Because they sampled his song?
Lil Nas X got a Grammy?
Yeah, I think he won it, or nominated, or he got one.
Why did he get a Grammy?
I mean...
He had a hot song. That's
how it works, man. I mean, I don't know. I did, it wasn't my call on that. But again, I'm a music educator, so my kids love that song. And you drop that song at the kid dance party, look out, the 3-year-olds are going to bust it.
You're right.
Well, let's talk about music preferences for a little bit, because this is something that I think about constantly, where what actually forms what you like to listen to. And for me, so far, it's been what I grew up with.
Sure.
Mostly is the bass, what I've been hearing since I was a small kid. Like, I grew up listening to the Blitz in the car.
Okay. Parents?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there
so
was
what bands?
A lot of Rage Against the Machine. Okay. A lot of one song, "Alcohol and Ass," comes to mind. Hell yeah.
All right.
And how that translated into hardcore rap and
sure.
Well, I mean, I have a Mad Villain poster and a RTJ and a Brother Ali up there, and then finally to jazz. And I'm just, what are your thoughts on how those kinds of things develop? Because, I mean, you educate kids on how to make music. So
you're right about it being what you're exposed to. Mm-hmm. So it's very important to expose everybody to more music or just, different styles of things that you might not otherwise hear. Man. And some stuff's bound to stick. I come from a background like you. It was classic rock and and then from there I went to heavy metal, and that was like two cousins were like hip hop and metal to me. It was like, well, this is almost the same thing, and I love drums, so so that got me really into like rap music back then. But
give me some artists. Who are your tops?
Top 5 MCs?
Sure, if you want to go there.
Or just bands I like.
Either way. I know it's very difficult.
I know some. All the guys in book club and rock and roll book club podcast I'm part of, they all have like their list guys, so they know all their artists. And I'm the guy that like, who's your favorite band? Like, what day of the week is it? Yeah. What genre? Like, favorite? I don't know. I like this guy's record. I grew up on Metallica. Okay. Like early Metallica. I was a skater, so I got into that. Nice. Then it was like NWA. So like those things were kind of together for me. But I mean, I like Gangstar a lot. I'm a big Gangstar fan.
They're coming out with something new.
It's out.
It's out? It's already?
Out. Yeah, about 3 weeks probably.
Shit.
Yeah.
What am I missing?
The Gangstar record, obviously. I'm a big Gangstar fan. Sean Price is one of my top 5 MCs. I'm just gonna say random things, I guess.
Okay.
I'm a big Portishead fan.
Let's talk about Aesop.
He's in my top 5.
Aesop Rock.
He's in my top 5.
I don't know if this audience knows, but I'm a dedicated Aesop Rock fan.
Yeah, I noticed that when I walked in.
Yeah, it's right up there. It's behind the camera.
I can testify that Corey talks about A$AP Rock more than...
I'm sorry, say that again?
Aesop, let's not get crazy.
You want to try that again?
A$AP Rock.
Do you mean A$AP Rocky?
A$AP Rock.
Every time.
I know. I was like, wow.
No. Corey talks about A$AP Rock more than most rappers I know.
Do you like music for Earthworms?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You dig it?
I like that. Do you like Appleseed?
I don't think I've heard that one.
It's early. I think it's like, that's real early A$AP stuff. I didn't get him... To me, when I first heard him, because I've been rocking with LP since Company Flow, like way back when they were out. Because my DJ friend, because I started out my music career in a metal band. I was just a lot like Rage, but we had a DJ, so you can imagine what this sounded like. Oh yeah. Quiet and loud and screamy vocals and some scratching. So some might call that rap metal, but I don't want to admit that on the air. But we had, we were kind of doing that, and my DJ was just a super indie hip hop guy back then, way before anybody was hip. Like, so he got me. His name's Jay Vision. Just shout out to Jay Vision. But he got me hip to like Company Flow, Dr. Octagon, like all that kind of stuff. So that's when I started following LP, which leads to Def Jux and A$AP Rock. But I didn't get him at first. Yeah, I was just like, this guy's. I didn't like his vocals. I didn't like his like weird tone. And I just wasn't feeling him at all. And it just hit me one day, like, this is the guy. Oh yeah. Like, oh my God. And then, his career has been awesome because, then he just learned to make his own beats, and I like his choice in production, which can be a problem with a lot of MCs that I do like. I can't pick their beats for them. They're going to rap on what they want to rap on, but sometimes I don't want to hear those beats.
Usually what I get with Ace is, the commonly passed around, like, graph of wordiness per rapper.
Yeah, I have that poster, yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. I love that. It's like everybody over here, and then big gap, and then A$AP Rock right over here with like 7,500 unique words per minute. I don't know, something ridiculous like that. But that is like, are you kind of are you interested in linguistics? Are you attuned to big words?
I like someone that's educated versus just like, I want to hear shoot 'em up joints too. Yeah. I just like that stuff. It's fun.
I love both. Yeah, for sure.
But if you're really saying something, like I said, I noticed your Brother Ali poster up there. So if you're really talking, you're really saying something. It's about intonation and tone on a mic for me. Sometimes I won't even listen to what the guy's saying if I'm not feeling him, but the beat's nice and his tone over the beat or the way his delivery on the beat's nice. So, but Ace, you try to pay attention, like, what the hell is he talking about? Like, what did he say? Like, I don't know.
It's like studying for a test.
Right.
You gotta go through on Genius.com and figure all that shit out.
Not a lot of people are sensitive to something like cadence. Most people, that's cool you say that. Most people would just be like, oh, he's got a nice flow. I like his bars, but like, cadence is really important. Yeah. Cadence will make or break a lot of artists.
Yeah. Or make or break a track and on a song and the delivery on that track.
Like, imagine 6ix9ine if his cadence wasn't on point, he would have never blown up.
Speaking of just being a good MC in general, shout out to Just real quick.
Yeah.
That was a dope fucking song that he was on.
Yeah. And Generic John, those two are together on that. There was a old hip hop crew named Bottom Brick, and I was the DJ in that group, and it was John Haskins, who was Seance, and Just and myself. So we were a crew. And
when was that?
God, a long time ago, probably like 10 years ago. But that being said, that developed into me and Just having our own project, which is Advanced Placement. We haven't done anything in quite a while. We played it 2x2 for a few years.
I remember that.
Yeah. So and he just won a big battle. He won actually this year's battle.
Yeah, the Killer 16s at 2x2 this year.
Yeah, so he's real nice, and I'm like, we've been friends forever. So I usually, he's on my call list. But we're also really good friends, and we've made a bunch of records together.
Cool.
And we're working on something this year as well.
Oh, yeah.
So
cooking it up.
Yeah, there's a lot of things happening now that I have this record off the plate. So now I can work and kind of see these other projects through and get more video editing done and all that things.
Dope.
So.
Hey guys, this is Zay Crypto, here to tell you about my debut project, Liftoff, dropping December 1st. This is the culmination of the past 3 years of my life put into music. It's a short EP, but it's my first time writing to my own instrumentals. My production skills have improved immensely this year, and this is just a taste of what's to come. In this project, I tried to display my versatility and express my innermost thoughts and feelings. I also want you to get a better sense of who I am as a person. Music has been such a huge influence in my life and has given me purpose when I had none. I want to create music that gives people strength, and I'm hoping that you'll find something in my music that makes you feel less alone. I have a very eclectic taste in my music, so it's hard for me to pin down what my style is. However, if you like hip-hop, rock, or experimental music, then this EP is for you. Look for Liftoff on Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud, and all other major streaming platforms on December 1st. Thank you for your time. Now back to the show.
There's no connection to food and people, and we just saw a need for the kids that we were working with, and especially in our community. They're losing that connection, and I think, if nothing, food and food prep is a team building exercise for anyone. I mean, most people enjoy at least standing in a kitchen, nibbling, or maybe they'll slice something, or maybe they'll have an idea. Breaking bread's a big thing. I mean, in our culture, we go out to eat a lot. We have restaurants everywhere, but when you do that together, it's a common goal. So you can put down your differences, and then and really work on something unique and creative, and hopefully that tastes good and that will sustain you. We're losing touch of all that with the next generation of these little kids, and a lot of the kids we work with think food comes out of a box. Where's chicken come from? A box.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So it's a big focus for us to educate young minds and getting them, teaching them. We're working with 4 and 5-year-olds, teaching them how to use paring knives and proper knife techniques. A lot of adults don't know this stuff.
That's cool.
So
yeah.
I saw this TV show on Netflix called Cooked, and it kind of talks about that, how there's been this massive change in the past few decades, and a lot of our eating habits have gone away. Now we just do fast food.
Yeah, it's completely based on convenience, man.
Yeah.
And we're also lacking a lot of the nutrients that we need to be getting.
There we go.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest point of it. And these kids are expected to learn inside a box, and they're just fed a box. So it's not good for their development at all. They're missing out on all the vital nutrients and nutritional qualities of this these foods. We used to just grow in our backyards and then prep it, but we're so far away from that now.
Yeah.
But again, our goal with the caravan is that we can, we work at a lot of community houses, and we do a lot of outreach. So a lot of these kids are latchkey kids, or there's not somebody at home. And we try to teach them to deconstruct those kind of recipes and learn how they can flip these things. Because I grew up in a house like that, and we didn't have a lot of things. We didn't have a lot of money, or parents weren't around to do it, and we just would explore. Like, I think some of the first weirdo things we made was like a can of chicken noodle soup, and then we were just grabbing all these ingredients out of it and putting it in the soup, and we called it the soup. But that was our first thing. Like, we're making the soup.
The soup.
Oh, throw some banana peppers in there. This is gonna be crazy.
Oh, I did that shit too.
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah. Like, I used to go over to my grandparents' house, and we would make just all sorts of concoctions.
Sure.
And they would make sure that it's edible.
Yeah.
But because I was 5 years old,
Yeah.
and I was trying to throw fucking hockey pucks in there. But
Yeah.
it just that's a very important part of my childhood, personally.
Yeah.
And I'm fortunate to have had that experience. Don't know how to cook now. I don't remember any technical things about it, but just knowing that there's more you can do with food than going to McDonald's in the morning and grabbing an Egg McMuffin.
Yes.
You know what? Have you ever had homemade Egg McMuffins? You ever had that shit? It's delicious.
It's a little different.
It is a little different, and when you do it right, it's amazing. But just gotta have a fast food worker make it for you. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
I don't know, a month ago, did I tell you about this? I did this thing where this is my Tuesday class was my latest wake up time, and so I would get up a little earlier, and my challenge to myself was to make something increasingly difficult each Tuesday morning as I went on.
Oh yeah, you were telling me something about that.
That lasted about 3 weeks, and then I fell off, but I'm gonna try it again. I just made an egg at first.
Sure.
Cracked 2 eggs, made a fried egg, made it over easy. I ate it, and I was proud of myself because it came out well. And then I made egg burgers, and I set off the fire alarm several times. But that's how you learn.
Yeah, just
You know
turn
what I
that
mean?
heat down a little bit.
You just gotta experiment, and you gotta. That eating is what. We are made of this. You are what you eat biologically. Yeah. It affects your mood. It affects
absolutely
how you retain information. Yeah. It affects everything in your life. And, if you eat something that was made in 5 seconds in a fryer, you have been made in 5 seconds in a fryer. That's what's going to come out of your energy in your daily life.
Have you seen school lunches lately?
I just got out of high school.
Yeah, so you know the deal.
I graduated this year. I've seen that shit.
And it's, the budget's not there for the schools, for the lunches. That's the last thing.
Plus, they try to make you pay for that shit.
Yes, and they're relying on Coca-Cola and Pepsi deals.
Well, there's that. Yeah, so the whole system's broken, and there are answers, but I don't know if everyone's willing to sacrifice their. People think they're so busy that they can't do these things. A lot of even the kids and the adults that I deal with and the clients that we work with are under the impression that that's unattainable. It's an unattainable goal. It's just me. I can't cook for me. How do I make a meal? It's just easier for me to go through a drive-through. And I was guilty of that at a younger age too. But when you cook a big meal and then just have containers full of that in your freezer, and once you get a couple of these big meals made, then you have a plethora of things to flip. So I don't know. I'm all about that. I cook for myself. I cook for my dog. I cook for my friends. Food is life, and we love what we do, and we love reaching out to the clients and teaching kids about food and teaching them how to break down these ingredients and prepare them.
And how long have you been teaching kids how to cook?
We've been doing, we're going on 8 years. Yeah, for Cooking Caravan. Yeah, so. And
you've grown up with some of these kids then. They've grown up through the program, maybe.
We do see recurring kids out there. Yeah, absolutely. They come to different events and whatnot, and we have our client base is pretty vast. We teach at Franklin Preparatory Academy, and that's a high school cooking class. So for high schoolers, so guys it would have been a class. So it would have been an elective. You come and learn to cook with us.
That's cool.
And then we go into preschools and teach them about, eating strawberries, or we'll read a story and tie that in with food and have a food experience that these kids can kind of try to cling to. So and then we do, the elderly population. So we've done cooking classes for dogs. I mean, we don't teach the dogs to cook, of course, but that would be cool. Yeah. But it's all what you put in your body, and I've been guilty on it. I'm like on a 2.5 month cleanse of like sugar, wheat, dairy. And you feel totally different. There's sugar in everything. I mean, read the ingredients. It's crazy. You buy a can of tomatoes, and one of the first ingredients is like sugar. Like, I just want tomatoes.
Bro, you sound like my mom right now.
I mean, it's.
I mean, like, she's a brilliant woman. So.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Well, God, shut up! You sound like my mom.
My mom like does health coach stuff.
There it is. Yeah. So she knows.
She doesn't make money off it yet, but she's about to.
Good.
She's been training this for
Shout out to mom.
Yeah, for sure. She's been telling me this shit my whole life. I was raised vegan because of her.
There you go.
So.
Well, that's an experience that you always have. And
yeah.
Despite what you choose to put in your body, you always have that foundation.
Yeah.
And again, that's with music, with photography, with videography, anything, you have to have that foundation and then to build upon. Man,
so whether it's this or music, you just spend a lot of time in the kitchen, don't you?
Yeah, and half the time, yeah, I'm cooking. Yeah, well said. But yeah, and half the time my studio is in my kitchen. I'm one of those guys that's always in his kitchen.
Yeah.
That's always a meeting place for my friends, and I'm always the hub. Everybody comes to my house. That's where my studio is. It's where the cooking company meets. That's where the artists meet. So it's always a hub. And when your friends roll in, you're in the kitchen making food. Or half the time my friends roll in with a bag of food because they don't know what to do with it either. So they just come. I'm like, yeah, let's do this. If I'm not, I get to be creative with food.
That's great.
Versus just noises.
See, that's why I want to learn how to cook so I can just have fun like that.
Exactly.
I work with this one guy. My job, I work at Piata. It's like this Italian restaurant.
Shout out Piata.
Yeah, shout out Piata.
Sponsor us.
Yeah,
please, Piata sponsored. Ask them. You better ask them.
Okay, sure. They're gonna say no, but my boss he went to culinary school. He's the only one there that actually knows how to cook.
Sure.
And we'll just bring him like ingredients from the Meyer across the road, and he'll just cook something up. Like he made pizza the other day. We brought him a pineapple. He made like spicy pineapple chicken.
He knows what's going on.
Yeah.
Good for him, and for you, because you're gonna, just pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
I did that with my grandma, like you said, with your grandparents. My grandma would it was always just sitting around, and just in 5 minutes she would have like a 4-course dinner, and like there's no food here. What are we gonna eat?
Yeah.
I remember going out in the yard and picking like dandelion greens and bringing them. It was just always amazing to me. So I had that. Like you can always find something to eat if you know how to cook it, how to prep it.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a can of a vegetable and a protein, like you can do something.
Yeah.
So that really stuck with me at an early age. Because when you do grow up hungry, it's different. It's different saying there's nothing to eat versus there's nothing to eat.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a whole different thing, and there's a lot of hungry kids out there, and even when these pantries do a wonderful job of making sure that people have resources, but a lot of times these kids do not know what to do with these things. So that's where we come in and like break down those pantry boxes. What can you do with this? How do you prep this? What is this thing here? What is a beet? How do you eat it? How do you make it? Because you see so many people, and even when we volunteered at the food bank, people want processed things.
Yeah.
They want where's the like Slim Jims and potato chips. I mean, no shade. It's just how that's what it is. And there was a part of my life where I was on that like, oh, we're having dinner. It's Reese cups and potato chips and Slim Jims and Mountain Dew. Like, all right, like come on, like that's not gonna make you feel good.
No.
But that's what people will know. They know what they know, and we're trying to break down those boxes and and give a lot of kids an option.
That's really cool.
Thanks.
Have you seen Michael Pollan's his documentary on Netflix called, I think it's In Defense of Food?
No, I haven't seen that. But I know that guy. He wrote the book The Omnivore's Dilemma.
I think so.
All right.
He also recently wrote one about hallucinogens and psilocybin, but we'll get into that later.
Okay.
Now he recently went on Joe Rogan, and I listened to that episode. But if you haven't checked that out, when we're on the topic of food, you gotta go check out Michael Pollan's stuff in general, just because he has a deep understanding of how, natural foods will interact with your body and how they'll decide how the different aspects of you, your physicality and your personality and stuff like that. And I think his model diet was something like mostly plant-based.
Sure.
Or just real food. It was just real food. Like a million years ago when we were evolving,
Yes.
we were just eating the shit that comes out of the ground. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We didn't have beefaroni. We didn't have Hamburger Helper back then.
No Doritos.
No Doritos. No Takis. Although Takis are great, but they destroy you inside and out.
Sure.
Talkie.
Have you had Takis?
Yeah.
Yeah? They are a bane of my existence, but they also feed me soul. They feed my soul deeply.
Yeah.
But that's something I've been getting into a lot more recently, is that idea of how much food can really put you together or tear you apart.
I think one of the things that, there's a lot of trendy diets out there and things like that, and everybody's on the paleo kick and things like that, which
My girlfriend's on keto.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
But I think the best thing that you could do to gear yourself up for any change, it's the 28-day rule or whatever, but there's a diet called the Whole30, and it's pretty much that.
Yeah.
You take out everything. You eat proteins and plants. That's what you eat. That's all you eat for a month. If you want to, eat things after that, it's okay. Put them back in slowly, see what it does to your body. So you just kind of, and it's crazy because you go through this period where you get really, really sick. Mm-hmm. I'm sure your mom knows about this. Mm. And it is terrible. And in your mind, if I just drove through and got a Whopper, I would feel great. I'd feel great. I wouldn't be sick. And it's really the flu. You are detoxing. It's awful. But then when you get over that, you really start to notice how food affects you because you've cleansed yourself of those toxins. So when you put something back in, you can feel its effects. When you eat a grape, it feels like you're eating a sugar. There's natural sugar, of course, but it's like processed sugar because it's so sweet.
Yeah.
Versus let's put some honey on this fruit salad. This will be great. It's like you're eating things like, oh my God, it's so sweet. This is crazy. I can't eat very many grapes now. So to remove all those toxins and just to have a hard look at yourself, which is not easy for anyone, to give yourself 30 days and just, evaluate your mind and your existence and sit in it. And then you'll know what to do. You'll know what's affecting you when you put it right back in.
So pedestrians, we challenge you.
There it is.
30 days.
30 days.
Do what Penn Jillette did and only eat potatoes. Do you know about that?
I don't know about that.
Penn Jillette from Penn and Teller.
Yeah, of course.
He used to be, I don't know exactly how many pounds, but a lot of pounds, and he did.
He's the taller guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a ginormous man.
Yeah.
He ate only one potato a day for a year or something.
It doesn't sound healthy.
But it was he chose the most versatile food because you can just turn it into anything.
You can really flip a potato. Okay. There's a lot of different things.
So many different ways you can eat a potato, and he did that, and he lost. Look at him now. He looks great. I think he lost 150, 200 pounds. That's insane. Probably not the healthiest thing in the world, but
yeah,
I just.
The
potato diet, that's not one of the trendy ones, but apparently it works. So,
sure.
My friend was telling me you could survive off nothing but beer for months and months and months.
There are a lot of people that think that. Yeah.
I think I know a few.
Yeah, that's really trendy nowadays. I've heard a lot about that.
Beer diet. It'll be popping in the 2-0.
Yeah. Is that what we're calling it? The 2-0.
2-0.
This year's 20 Grindteen. What's next year?
20 Grindteen.
20 Grindteen.
Something to do with 2020 vision. Corny puns.
2020. I don't know. Something campy.
2020 is the year that we set up for 2021.
Isn't that every...
No, but 2021, I'm going to be president.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a big goal.
That is, yeah, I'm gonna be president 2021, and then I'm gonna use the U.S.'s armed forces and just start capturing all the territories around. We're gonna take over the new world first, then we're gonna head for the old world.
This is reminding me of when we had Morgan Harper on the show and you asked her about, or what did you say about acid? You said something about acid. She was like, oh, okay.
I said we should put acid in the White House's water supply.
Mind you, this is someone that's running to represent the 3rd District of Ohio in Congress. We had them here, and he was like, yeah,
Why
I think
you
we
say
should
that
just...
like that? That makes me sound like a fucking asshole.
It's hilarious.
I'm just saying, man. It might not make things better, but it can't make things worse.
I don't know about that.
That's a slogan. That's a campaign slogan.
I do like that slogan. I don't know. Or maybe there's already existing acid in the water
I just
supply.
think that if Trump had a really good, maybe even a really bad acid trip, that might help.
Oh, Trump's definitely on uppers all the time, dude. You know, that man is 70 and 71 or whatever he is now.
He's
ageless,
just
timeless, whatever, and he has so much energy.
Wakes up in the morning, takes an Ambien, mixes that with a little...
Downs 5 Big Macs, and then goes on a campaign stage.
Big Mac, Vicodin, and an Adderall, that'll get you right. That's the American way.
Can you tell I've been listening to too much Joe Rogan lately?
I don't know. I don't listen to Joe Rogan.
That's like all they talk about on there. It's
Really?
like, dude, Trump's on acid, or Trump's on meth, man.
Really?
All the time, man.
Really?
You tried meth? It's pretty cool. Like, you're just...
No.
Yeah, right.
No, they do that more with like shrooms.
Yeah, that's much better. Yeah. Legalize psychedelics.
The last episode we released of the show is called Legalize All Drugs.
Yeah.
So you can get what that episode's about.
Legalize.
But this episode is not called Legalize All Drugs. I don't know what it's called yet. Let's talk about your music videography.
All right.
That's something we haven't
good
quite
segue.
touched on today.
Yeah.
Because, okay, first of all, should plug Visioneer's Spotlight, because Sam Rothstein and Danny Rogers, also known as Ace on Intrigue, put on this really dope fucking event called Visioneer Spotlight, and it's at it's every first Tuesday of each month. And it's at Wild Goose Creative. And I was going to be there last time, but I was sick. But I'm going to try and be at every single Visioneer Spotlight that happens for the foreseeable future. So basically what it is, Sam and Danny do a film podcast at the beginning where they watch a classic film. Like the first episode was Mad Max Fury Road, and they played not the whole movie, but they did an episode where they riffed on it for an hour, and those guys can fucking talk. You know,
They're nonstop. Sam's like that.
They're legends, man.
He's passionate about film. Me and Sam have been friends for years now. I met him in the hip hop scene.
Yeah.
And I think Grant Gatsby, shout out to Grant Gatsby, hooked me up with Sam.
Big ups.
And said, there's this guy making videos and to his record. You guys need to meet.
Yeah.
Like, you guys really are going to hit it off. And that's pretty much exactly what happened. So, since then I've shot some videos with Sam, and we've become friends and played a lot of stages together. And, he's got that amazing event. There hasn't been really a hub or showcase for videographers. And now it's like Sam and Danny bringing all these people and giving them a platform to just share and conspire. So it's a really sweet event. And again, shout outs to Sam for thinking of such great things and having the foresight to see a need and having the diligence to make it happen. Because everybody has an idea, but
the execution is
exactly.
They do this thing.
Yeah, Sam and his camp are for real, doing a lot to push our culture forward. And I appreciate them a lot, because I don't think we'd be where we are today without the things like whatever they've done so far.
Yeah. I think Sam is somebody that this whole city should stand behind.
Yeah, man, Sam is underrated.
Yeah.
Shout out to Sam.
I don't know if Sam's underrated. I wouldn't go that far.
All of Columbus is underrated. Sam is underrated.
Columbus is an underrated city.
Yeah.
That is true. I do agree with that.
Yeah.
That's kind of the whole
no,
premise.
we're
of the
all
show.
underrated, but Sam is extra underrated.
It's true.
Yeah.
So when did you start shooting videos?
Probably like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all the photography and videography stuff started for me with me getting an iPhone.
Yeah.
Because I never had any intention of being a photographer or a videographer. I always had people around me that were like, I had a video guy, so I just make the music. I'm the music guy. I need a video guy, and that was always my, I had a team like that. But then I got an iPhone and was like, oh, I can just look at the back of the phone and see what I'm shooting. Like, and then graduated to like iPhoneography when that was a hot thing, and did like iPhone exhibits and stuff like that. Like, maybe I need a camera. Like, whoa. So I kind of went down that road. But really, how I got into all that stuff was just, I was an MTV kid. It was always been mixed media to me. Mm-hmm. Always. If there was a song, I want to see a video.
Yeah.
I want to see some kind of visual. And, again, with the production, that stuff is vast. Like, to learn, you think the beat game is heavy. When you jump into Premiere and DaVinci, like, it's a whole nother world.
Really?
There are parallels.
Yeah.
You're looking at blocks, you're moving them, you're keeping a timeline, but it's big. It's big, especially when you get into color grading and things like that. So...
And I have a lot to get into.
Oh, yeah.
But sorry, I cut you off.
You're fine. There's a value to knowing people.
Yeah.
And we both know that.
Sure.
You can always hit somebody up, but there's incredible intrinsic value in being a Swiss Army man as well. And I've been kind of slacking on that front, but, just having to rely on people in certain situations when you maybe have a time crunch, or there are a lot of things you have to put in place to make that system work. You have to keep these relationships going, and relationships are awesome. That's great. Never downplay the value of having good relationships with people around you that can provide expertise. But at the same time, it's not always a viable thing to be able to just send out a text and be like, hey, can you get this thing done for me? Or, let's meet up on this day. There's so much more time you can save being able to do it all yourself too.
It's yes. And I think there's a line in the sand that you have to be able to understand that you can't do everything, or you can't do everything as good as you possibly want. And to assemble a team where you can count on people, like you're saying. It's about investing in those relationships and coming through for people when they need something, to be able to have that relationship that you can call on them for the same way. Because a lot of relationships aren't that way. They're one-sided. Sometimes there's just payment and you do your work and get out. But those situations where it's truly a collaborative effort, those are the ones that can stick. And and everybody comes. There's enough food for everybody to eat in the city. Like, everybody's dope. I mean, there's so many. I brag on the Columbus scene all the time, and that's not just hip hop. I mean, you go to Rambling House and see some bluegrass. Oh, yeah. You go to Dixon and see some jazz. Like, Alrosa and see some metal. Like, Columbus is killing everything. The chefs, the food here. So, meeting these people and having these connections and really building a foundation for people that you can call on when you need those things. I had a lot of those videographers that I was able to do that with, that showed me what was up. It would come over, like Mario Hensley of Visual House Media. He would leave his job early to come to my house and watch my video and give me pointers when I was making it in an iMovie. Like, it's like, oh, it doesn't look too bad. Like, I'm really, and that's when I was like jacking clips off YouTube and remixing them, and you're like, I'm a videographer. And he's like, yeah, man, you're getting there. I can't wait to see what you shoot. Like, what? Oh yeah, I need a camera. Like, so just have those people that can give you tips, and that's what I'm trying to do with you guys.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. That's one big thing that, going back to Columbus as a city, we laud that on this show all the time. It is the premise of the show, really. Yeah. And it's such a unique city in that I think we talked about this with Faye, where there's not really a defining like music genre to Columbus. Like Columbus isn't a rap city or a bluegrass city. It's just kind of a music city.
Sure.
It's not really. I mean, one thing that Columbus kind of leans toward is we're very service based. That's really all I can think of. You know what I mean? We're a very. I'm gonna use the same quip. We're a very Swiss Army city, I would say, and how versatile the people that live here can be. You'll hear about like Nashville, and I'm very ignorant on city titles, so don't quote me on this, but like Nashville being a country city, or if that's correct at all. Memphis.
That sounds right.
Yeah. There are a lot of cities you can point to and just be like, oh, that's a city you can go to for for this specific thing. But I think something that we can capitalize on here is our not being funneled into one thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Right now, when outsiders say, they look at Columbus, they don't really say Columbus is a city for anything. A lot of people still say Columbus is a flyover city, which is going to change, but you people need to learn. You need to stop sleeping on us.
I'm just wondering what it'll take, you know? 'Cause
someone's going to blow up.
Yeah.
Doobie's already doing his thing, but that's like one scene. We've got so many different scenes. I think we just need a rock star to come out of Columbus and put a light on everybody else.
Well, some of the rock bands in town are about to do that. You know, you got the Cordial Sins who aren't playing around; they're out there doing it. And a band that I work exclusively with, the Warren Flints, and they're out there.
Yeah, you did a music video for them.
I did their music video, and I also have toured quite a bit with them.
Oh yeah.
And just jump in the van and be part of the band and just go document it. And those guys are real good friends of mine, and we do a lot of work together. And they're on their way. I mean, there's a lot of bands. I mean, damn the Witch Siren. Like a lot of the bands you have on, like there's no one's any like not as good as any other city. Like everybody here can hang.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Sam's trying to make it to where we just leave the city more, and Columbus can be like haterific sometimes. Not and I don't mean that toward each other, because that's changed a lot, that dynamic. When I was coming up, it was, I don't know, it was almost turf war kind of stuff, you know. It was it was very competitive, and that's good because that can fuel creativity. But I think now that's changed a lot to where people are really working together and wanting to see and realizing like everybody can shine. There's enough for everybody. Like, and we are the dopest. I mean, like I said, from chefs to teachers to politicians to there's a lot of quality people in the city. So props to Columbus.
Oh yeah. And Adam Corwin on episode 28, one of my favorite quotes from the show is like, man, there's 7 billion people on this earth. I'm not fighting anybody for any fucking fans, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got enough for everybody.
Yeah, everybody can eat well.
It's true. We've talked a lot about eating today.
Yeah.
I was thinking
there you
about
go.
this
Nice.
yesterday.
Yes.
Like, I have a lot of fans. They just don't know it yet.
All right.
Hey.
I like it.
We're gonna get them all through this show. Don't worry.
Not all of them.
No, I know. I'm just joking.
In this room at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh, my
Every single person in here.
Probably about to like 25 people.
I'll have to open that closet door. It'll be easy.
Yeah. Yeah. Do a tiny desk concert in Corey's bedroom.
You haven't freestyled on the show yet.
It's because I can't freestyle, boy.
We also didn't get any podcast ad libs.
Brat.
Cool.
It's a hip, a hop, a hippity hop. And we're on Corey's show and we won't stop until the bang bang boogity rip and rapidy.
Boogie to the boogie beat. That was it, man.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just take that and slap it at the beginning.
Yeah.
Go.
Throw some 808s and hi-hats on that, it'll be knocking.
Nice.
Maybe a little auto-tune, give me that Young Thug feel.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Huh. What are the stories of you beginning all of your endeavors, really? Like, what are the flint and steel moments that kind of started those flames
I think
for
I
you?
grew up, for me, I mean, on the real, it was growing up in an undesirable place and wanting to have some control to do the things I wanted to do. I didn't come from a typical background to where everyone's encouraging you to try all these new things that no one's ever done. You know, it was like, you can't do that. And I'm stubborn. So I'm like, well, why not? So, I mean,
I'll show you.
You can't do this either. Okay, I'm going to do that too. Oh, well, you can't do that and that. So I was like, all right, well, I guess I got to do that now. So I don't know. I mean, so there's a bit of that. But I also had a lot of friends that were really into cool things. I had a very diverse group of people around me that were showing me different things. And, you know, like I said, I was an MTV kid, so I always saw music videos and things like that. I was always around food. So all the things I'm doing is an extension of my past life. You know, I went to school and you know, I was a family studies major because of, you know, how I grew up. And then, you know, the concentration of food comes in with that, with the family. So it all kind of became this big thing as to who I am. But all these little things kind of work together. So they're all kind of the same thing in my book, but they're not on paper, I guess.
You got a YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Like a personal YouTube channel?
Yeah, Product 614.
Nice, okay.
Yeah, where can people find your work?
Product614.com. You can check me out there.
Okay.
I'm also mattthetrees.com. That's my band.
WeAreTheCaravan.com as well.
Yeah, Rock and Roll Book Club. The rnrbookclub.com. That's my podcast as well. So we read a rock and roll book every month and report our findings at the end.
Hell yeah.
So,
Is that you?
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, Product 614 on Instagram as well.
Yeah.
Why is the P lowercase?
I just like this stylistically.
It just looks cool, yeah.
I like that, and then it's just, I don't know. I felt like it was kind of the opposite of how things should look. You know, I felt like that.
Yeah.
I picked Product because, you know, people are like a product of the unique worlds. Wherever you grow up, you're going to be the product of that, and you can also be a commodity to, you know, a negative or positive.
Yeah.
So
I like that.
I wanted to change that, so I just became Product, and you know, I flipped it like all caps with a lowercase p instead of, you know, capital P, and so I guess that's my story for that.
Make you stand out, like an iMac.
Yeah, right. It's sort of like that. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
sweet. Do you have any last minute shout outs to make?
Just all the people I work with, you know, Donnie Mossman, John Hubble, Drew from Pro Vidi Life. You know, some of the people I dropped, all the guys on all my teams. You know, like, so just everybody, my students, my fans, whoever they are.
Yeah.
Just everybody, Columbus, and thanks for your support. I've been here doing this for a while. You know, I got my first DJ gig at Bernie's like way back in the day. Shout out to Jason Roush, because I'll just tell the story and we'll wrap. But I had one turntable, an SP202. That's how I started. And my buddy said that he would give me the money for a second turntable if I DJ'd Bernie's in a month. And this is when, you know, RJ's there, SA Smash. This is like, Bernie's is happening. Like DJ Pause 2.
Does Bernie's even exist anymore?
No.
I heard Blueprint and Illogic talking about Bernie's. And I'm pretty sure they're like R.I.P. Bernie's. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Shout out Pause 2.
Yeah, absolutely. He's my.
If we ever make a documentary, Bernie's has to go in the fucking documentary.
Oh, it definitely has to. I mean, there's a lot of things that need to go into it. Yeah, but Pause was there. Pause was there that night. And my dude Low, I knew him from Sound Ideas, and he said he'd put me on. And I was like, I don't want that money that bad. I don't want to go. I mean, Prism's DJing there. Like, I didn't have 2 turntables. He's like, you got a month, dude. I'll buy this turntable for you. But you got a month. You have to play out. Like, I didn't want to take that money. I was shook. Yeah. And then I show up there with my brand new Techniques record bag, my brand new Sony headphones, like looking like first day of school. Like, hey man, I'm here to DJ Low. How's it going? And Prism looks at me and he's just like shakes his head. Like, no. And I'm like, yes, I'm so glad. That's great. Thank you, Prism. Thank you for hating on me. Like, that's so good. Thank you. I look like a dork. I know it. And then he came around and Lowe's like, nah, man, let's put him on. And then I'm just getting ready to leave. My buddy's like, it's okay. You tried. We came. You had your records. And then we're getting ready to walk out. We're finishing our drink. And I get a tap on my shoulder. I'm like, I turn around slow. He's like, yo, you're up next. I'm like, no. And all the homies were there. I mean, Damon's there, like everybody. And I'm just like, oh God, I don't want to do this. And I decided to do it. So the set went really well. You know, I'd been DJing off 2 turntables for 1 month. And my buddy honored the agreement and bought the turntable for me, and I paid him back, of course. But so Bernie's that's a big part of Columbus history, along with the Groove Shack. So if you guys don't know that, the Groove Shack was pre-Bernie's. So everybody graduated to Bernie's, but the Groove Shack was where it was first happening. That's when the megahertz were first coming out. There actually is a Groove Shack documentary that's really hard to find. Somebody shared it with me, and it was just a home screening. And Camus in there, rest in peace, and it's everybody, Pete, copyright, all those dudes. So a lot of rich history.
Okay. So Bernie's was a spot. Bernie's isn't here anymore.
No.
Do you see any place in Columbus right now that is the new Bernie's?
No, I mean, I guess Sam would be the question for that, because Sam throws so many events. And
yeah.
I don't know if there's a home for it. It seems like there's several.
Have you been to Declassified yet?
Yeah, I shot one for Sam. I think that was downtown.
How do you think?
Yeah, that's
Declassified-
right over here.
Yeah.
How do you think that compares to Bernie's?
It's different, man. It's a whole different scene. Hip hop was so different then.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't. It was coming off the the 90s, and it was different. It was just different. It was really being the big thing that it should have been. So now it's I don't know. It's on par with all the other genres of music, to where hip hop's not this new thing. It's just a legit form of entertainment, and there's more. I think more venues have opened up to the idea.
Oh yeah.
Where
sure.
back then they could only do it at Groove Shack. They could only do it at Bernie's. It was hard to get those gigs.
Yeah.
Now it's you want to do a hip hop show. That's just your shit. You just want to book a show.
Super Duty Tough Work talked about this. The whole gangster rap image.
Sure.
Sort of made it hard to get bookings back in the day.
Yeah, absolutely. It was rough.
Even if you weren't a gangster rapper, they were just oh, you're hip hop.
Yeah.
Stay out of here.
Yeah, so
we don't want that trouble.
That's true, and that's how it used to be.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's changed over the years, because it's more, like I said, it's a legit form of music, so people are more accepting to throw those shows.
Yeah.
I have learned a lot today.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, hip hop has changed, man.
Especially in
Where's it gonna go? Where do you think it's going?
I think
someone say crypto. That's where it's
no
going.
hip hop. I think 2020, in the 20s, hip hop is dead. Hip hop is gonna go back to being sort of like an underground thing. I think all these mainstream artists right now, they're gonna fall off. That's gonna be fucked, because they're gonna be stuck with hundreds of thousands of dollars in jewelry and no real assets. So, R.I.P. to you. Start investing now, boys. Because your art form, your whole platform is going away. I think everybody's getting sick of this whole on the melodies and the hi-hat. They're using the same drums, bro. They're using the same kind of drums on every single track. You know how many different kind of drum sounds there are, and you're just on the hi-hats and that same and the that's it. Come on, let's get some real drums in here. We've got so much technology. I don't think that hip hop is gonna continue being hip hop. I think we're just gonna evolve into everyone's gonna do their own thing. I think that there will still be MCs, and hip hop it's gonna be valued as what it is, what it was always supposed to be, just dope ass lyricists on some grimy old school beats. I think that that's always going to be around. But I think that as far as popular music goes, I think that it's just going to be some indie stuff. I think hip hop is going to influence music for the next century. I think that hip hop is probably hip hop challenges rock and roll. I guess I never was around in the days of rock and roll, but hip hop is the biggest thing I've ever seen in my life. So hip hop should leave a very long impact, a very lasting impact on culture.
Did you hear who we lost today?
Who?
Did you know about Juice WRLD?
Juice WRLD?
Juice WRLD died today.
Wow.
What?
Yeah.
Juice WRLD is dead?
Juice WRLD had a seizure in an airport and died today.
Holy shit.
It was 2.5 hours ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Poor Juice.
Shit's insane.
I didn't even like rock with him like that, but he was too young to die, man.
He's 21.
He's my age. Oh my god. Dude, that sucks.
And that's somebody that's going to contribute to that legacy, you know? Somebody that's going to contribute to, you know, that influence over the next, like you said, century.
I don't know about Juice WRLD.
But
Juice WRLD was
his impact is going to be more, you know what I mean?
he's not like a legend, but like,
Yeah.
I'm sure people are going to mourn Juice WRLD. He's more impactful than a lot of these new guys, so.
Who were some of your most impactful MCs?
For me, probably the most impactful on me personally, Michi Darko, from Flatbush Zombies.
Okay.
And then as far as like just the idea of flow, Biggie really influenced me for flow. Pac isn't my favorite like songwriter, but just he's inspiring for what he did outside of his music to me. It's kind of cool how his music reflects his life.
I don't hear that enough. You know, I can respect that.
Mm-hmm.
I've gone on record many times and saying I'm not a Pac fan. I respect him, of course.
Yeah.
But I was never, and not even that huge a Biggie fan. Are they dope? Yes, of course. But are they my guys? Like, I mean, rest in peace, of course,
Yeah.
and all those things in respect of them. But you know, there's.
I mean, I'm still diving into the hip hop that you probably grew up on.
Sure.
So there's a lot of people for me to.
You know, Rakim.
Yeah, Rakim is the man. Rakim changed everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
Rakim. You know, Guru from Gangstar.
Yeah.
Nope. Never heard of him.
Gangstar.
Love Guru.
Check DJ Premier's on the beat, so that's just a
Okay.
powerhouse tag team.
Okay. Yeah. Corey, you probably know more about this shit than I do. I'm
Maybe.
like, I dive into a lot of different genres. Like this year, I got into dancehall a lot.
Sure.
I love grime music.
What about the guys on Griselda? Do you know those guys? If you're talking about these old school grimy beats and really nasty lyrics, you got
West Side Gun.
Benny the Butcher, West Side Gun, and Conway.
Yeah.
I'll
They
look
just
it
put
up.
out a record on Shady, so they're out of Buffalo, which Buffalo hasn't had a ton. I think Mayhem Lorenz from there too, but they haven't had a ton of love. I mean, New York just gets bombarded with it's just all New York, but these are some dudes from Buffalo just smashing it. I mean, it's
Really?
gritty. It's gritty.
What's the album name?
The label or their camp is called Griselda, Gris.
Griselda Records.
Yeah. So if you and they just put something on Shady, so but they're doing it. Benny the Butcher, Tana Talk 3, that record's real hot. I mean, so I mess with those dudes.
West Side Gun is one of my favorite artists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's an interesting cat, man. I mean,
wild.
he's got a vision. Like he was one of those like Aesop Rock characters, but I'm like, I don't know what the hell this guy's doing.
Yeah.
But then I keep listening to him, like, what? It's real like, you know.
Oh, I
it's
hate
like a-
this so much.
You know, like, yeah, like
Keep listening.
what is going on here? I don't. Like, now what's this deal with the ski mask and the big coat? Like, he's doing fashion, but like, yeah, he's. I keep paying attention, so.
Yeah, Supreme Blientele is how I got into it.
Damn.
And that came out.
This is some underground shit.
Yeah.
But Eminem
Not to be very long.
Eminem is
Yeah.
featured on a song they uploaded a week ago. So
Yeah,
shit, okay.
That's they just put it out on Shady. So,
Wow.
but they have a bunch of records before that, and they put out mixtapes all the time. So their catalog's pretty vast, all of them. So they stay grinding.
Yeah, West Side Gun is very underrated right now.
If you guys mess with Sean Price, you should listen to Sean Price.
Sean Price,
Rest in peace. Not P. He's so dope.
dude, I can't believe fucking Juice WRLD is dead.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah, like,
Just popped up on my phone like 2.5 hours ago. I was like,
fuck, man.
what the hell?
Yeah,
Price.
man. I hope his friends and family are doing okay.
Yeah.
I would pray, but like, what's that gonna do?
Well, is there anything positive we can talk about before wrapping up the show?
Yeah, leave it on that. Juice WRLD's dead. Goodbye, everybody.
Oh my God.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah. Thank you for listening this
No,
week.
you know what? Actually, I'd like to know what some of your influences are as an MC.
I'm not an MC.
Oh, you're not. Okay, excuse me.
As
As a musician, yes.
Production. One of my biggest influences is Jeff Barrow from Portishead.
Mm-hmm.
he leads a band and orchestra as a DJ, and that was always kind of one of my goals, to be a band leader off turntables. And
that's a dream, dude.
I really, and that's all that down tempo trip hop. If you guys missed that, check out Portishead, Massive Attack, all those dudes.
Massive Attack's good.
Yeah, those guys. But it goes all over the place. I was into rock and roll. I was into metal. I mean, Premier. On the beats, I love Premier. Ninth Wonder, Pete Rock, Dilla. I'm like, Dilla? You a Dilla fan?
I've been meaning to get into Dilla.
You might want to check him out.
Yeah.
Just saying. Saying.
Yeah, I went and saw Slum Village live a few months ago.
Okay.
They played at Scully's.
Sure. Yeah.
That was dope. They're doing a lot of tributes there.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
And like LP.
LP, yeah.
But
I got into him through RTJ.
I mean, yeah. See, I was like, I've been listening to him for like literally like 20 years.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Now he's getting his shine, but this dude's been grinding.
That's crazy. 20 years, man.
Yeah.
Pump this shit.
Yeah. So like they do in the future.
Yeah.
Like they do in the future.
But yeah, I mean, Company Flow, super dope, and his production was, just really, I don't know, like Blade Runner meets DJ Shadow. DJ Shadow was a big influence.
DJ Shadow, man.
So Shadow, and then I got my, scratch DJs like DJ Cuber and things like that. But then I have guitarists that influence me to, write songs. So I really try to take something from everything that's just quality artistry. Yeah. Minus genre. If I like it, I like it. I don't go too poppy. My lane's kind of like that grim, like kind of sad, melancholy vibe. Daniel Johnston to things like that.
Man, you gotta meet Luke. Like, I wish Luke was here right now.
Where are you, Luke? Come on.
Okay, yeah.
He just apparates out of thin air in front of the camera.
Yeah. Well,
we plug Luke a lot. People who listen to this show know who Luke is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you got a friend who's an amazing producer who nobody knows about. We have the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we'll have to get, Luke and Jay Vision together.
That would be really interesting, man. I'm going to look up Jay Vision.
He's kind of off the grid, but he's like the best. He like literally is. He built a big shed outside of his house.
Yeah.
And it does nothing but has records and a computer.
That's awesome.
And this guy,
a guy.
He digs constantly, and he's just making stuff.
That's crazy.
But people haven't heard it because he doesn't upload or anything.
Yeah.
But if you go to his house down by the river of his record shed, and he would just kill you with beats. So Jay, let's get that stuff out here, man. It's almost 2020. Let's do this.
Let's get him on the show.
All
right. Like him right here.
All right.
In this
Jay
studio.
Vision, I'm coming for you.
I'll hit him up.
We gotta have like a producer episode.
Yeah, just a bunch of producers sitting there talking about shit I don't know.
That would be awesome. Yeah, I could take the lead. I could be like, so guys.
You want to host an episode?
Sure, I'll talk about all the nerdy shit. I'll talk about compressors and reverb and sidechaining and EQing and. Which do you prefer, Waves or?
Are you on Waves?
I have some Waves stuff, but me and my friend try to get higher quality than Waves if we can. Waves is just cheap.
What Waves you messing with?
I mean, do you like some Waves products? Because we've like really been getting into Isotope. Like I got this really good.
You mess with Iris?
Iris. I don't think
Isotope Iris.
What does that do? I don't think I have it.
He builds synthesizers from, organic sounds.
That sounds dope. I don't know that much sound design yet.
You'll get there.
Yeah. First thing I'm going to learn is how to make some killer 808s because I want to have some shit that just hits you in your soul.
There it is. I like that. I'm looking forward to checking your stuff out when I get out of here.
Hell yeah.
I want to thank you guys for having me out.
Yeah, of course.
Plugging my whole life.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you for making the time.
Yeah, man.
For figuring out the shitty parking structure.
That's all right.
We appreciate that.
And you guys can call on me if you need some advice on like podcasting or beats or cameras or video.
You. I appreciate that.
Yeah, respect.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We will see you next Wednesday morning. We are going to be releasing some double weeks here coming up. We have some extra episodes flowing in off schedule.
I'm not even getting paid overtime. It's bullshit.
I know, right? You're in it for the loves, eh?
Yeah,
Come on.
for the love.
If you're on that mailing list, you know what's coming up in the next 2 weeks. But if you're not, You know the drill.
Get on that.
You got to get on that. You got to send us your email. You'll be knowing. You'll be in the know. You will be a true pedestrian. We'll see you next week.
Peace.